Welcome to part 2 of the Your First Leads lesson on your targeted outreach. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to implement the second part of your short-term prong, which is targeted outreach, to generate even more leads and get your first paying clients as quickly as possible. Occasionally, it might be that what you do interests no one in your network. This is very rare, but it does happen. Or you're only able to generate a few leads from leveraging your network. That's why, as powerful as it can be, we're not going to rely just on the people you already know, as that pool is infinitely smaller than the pool of people you don't know. And the second part of your short-term prong is your targeted outreach to people outside of your network. When you're just starting out and you're not well known, your clients aren't just going to come to you because they don't even know that you exist. So you are going to go to them. And there are 3 types of people you want to focus on. First, you're going to reach out to people who are searching for the solution that you offer. This is especially for people who you see asking for help in online groups or forums related to what you offer. This is the most obvious form of targeted outreach, and because of that, this is something a lot of other new entrepreneurs will be doing too. That means that you will have a bit more competition, but the good news is that most entrepreneurs do this wrong, which means that if you do it right, you'll have a huge advantage. The implementation guide for this lesson will give you a template for doing it the right way. Second, you're also going to reach out to people who you want to work with. From your research in Module 1, you know who your ideal client is and who you can help the most. Maybe this is someone you know only through a connection, or someone who you might be intimidated by because they're a leader in their space, or it's someone you follow and admire. They can also simply be someone you know of who is an ideal client. This can feel very scary, and there are a few key elements that are essential to doing it right, which we'll cover in this lesson's implementation guide. But here's the thing. If you're going to reach out to potential clients anyways, reach out to the ones that you want to work with. Finally, the last group of potential customers who you're going to reach out to are leaders in their industries who fit your ideal client profile. They don't have to be a leader in your industry, they just have to be a leader in theirs. This way, after you help them, you can feature them as a case study, and their testimonial will go a lot further than one from someone who is not as well known. And when I say leader, it doesn't have to be someone like Oprah. I mean someone who has a following and who is well respected by their followers. As you can imagine, these people are busy and get pitched to quite often. That being said, if you can help them with a problem that's top of mind for them and make their lives easier, and do it in a way that stands out, which you will learn how to do in the implementation guide for this lesson, then your chances of getting through are much higher than you might think. Now, because you don't have a pre-existing relationship with these people who you're doing targeted outreach to, what you're going to offer them is a bit different than what you offered to the people in your network. Instead of simply offering an open-ended free 30-minute session, you're going to create a free offer customized to them. Because especially when you're pitching leaders and busy people in general, they don't have time to think about if they need to work with you or not. But if you can point out exactly what they need and how you will help them get it, then that makes it a lot easier for them to say yes. This works no matter what you're offering and who your audience is, because as we already covered in Module 1, no matter what your business is, it comes down to one thing. You are offering a solution. Now, I want to emphasize that your initial outreach offer will have the highest chance of getting a response if your offer is free. That's because if you're reaching out to a leader in their space and you yourself don't have a lot of brand recognition, the easiest way to get a yes is to offer to work for free, because everyone loves free. I want to make it clear though, you are not going to make an open-ended free offer to work for free for forever. It's a free offer in a very tight container where you work on one project for free that you define beforehand, when it's going to start, when it's going to end, and what it's going to be. Not only that, but since you're working for free, you can also make it very clear that you're working for free in exchange for a testimonial or a case study. Afterwards, what usually happens is that if you do good work, that person will want to hire you for more results and or refer you to their friends. On top of that, you'll also have their testimonial to help you quickly establish legitimacy. We're going to go over an example of how to do this in just a minute, and you can see more examples in the case studies PDF in the additional resources section of this lesson. And again, this is important for you to understand. You're not offering to work for free for a lot of people or for a long time. In fact, if you do this for only 1 or 2 people, the right leaders, or get really great testimonials, that's all you need. Once you have those, you can move into offering a paid, customized solution in your targeted outreach. Let me give you an example of how to do good targeted outreach. This is an email from someone who reached out to me. I didn't know her beforehand, but from this email alone, I ended up hiring her for a very significant project. Let's go over what worked really well in this email. You'll have a template in the implementation guide for this lesson, but it's important for you to understand what worked here so that you can apply it for yourself as well. First, she starts off right away mentioning her background and why she's credible. She talks about how she has worked with someone I know and respect and helped them to improve their business, as well as a few other well-known businesses that she's worked with. Second, note that this email is direct and concise. She's cold pitching me. She's not trying to friend me first or soften her pitch, because when what you're pitching is valuable, you don't need to. Then, because her background has me interested in what she has to offer, all she has to say is, "I'd love to talk about how I can help you make your next launch even better." Next, she actually combines steps 1 and 2 that we just went over for how to do outreach. She gives me some free customized advice about my launch that I found very helpful, which of course made me even more interested in what she had to offer. And then she invited me on a call to talk about a customized solution. Combining steps 1 and 2 is more advanced, and I don't recommend it when you're starting out because you most likely don't have the social proof yet to make an enticing paid offer up front. But this should give you a good idea of what you're aiming to do. In this lesson, we covered how to do targeted outreach and who to reach out to. I know that it can feel intimidating, but you have a big goal. You want to build a business that lets you completely transform your life, and so of course you're going to have to do things that are a bit uncomfortable and that require you to grow as well so that you can achieve that goal. Put aside your fears, follow the implementation guides, and just do it. Once you do a few, you'll realize that it's not that bad, and even better, you'll realize just how much the results can pay off. Your next steps are to start your targeted outreach using the Your First Leads, Your Targeted Outreach implementation guide. After you're done with that, move on to the final lesson in this section on the key to success.